great day. Today, I will be discussing about hypertensive agents or cardiovascular renal drugs. Now, when you say cardiovascular, it means uh, the heart for the cardio, and for the blood vessels is for the vascular. Now, we will mainly talk about the heart and its vessels. Now, hypertension and regulation of blood pressure. It is important to understand and know the classification of hypertension on the basis of blood pressure. And for example, the categories like the normal or the stages, so 120 over 80, the pre-hypertension is 120 to 139 over 80 to 89, and then the hypertension is 140 over 90. The stage 1 is 140 to 159 over 90 to 99, and the stage 2 is 160 over 100. And for the etiology of hypertension, we have to remember that patients that no specific causes of hypertension are called or are said to have essential or primary hypertension, while patients with specific etiology are said to have secondary hypertension. And also, the equation of blood pressure, we have to remember the formula, which is the blood pressure over equals CO times PVR. So CO is the cardiac output, and the PVR is the peripheral vascular resistance. And also, we have to know the postural baroreflex, because it is the moment-to-moment adjustment in blood pressure. For example, you are sitting up, then you lay down, or you were laying down and then you just sit up right away. There is actually an increase or a decrease on your blood pressure during that moment. So next is the basic pharmacology of antihypertensive agents. Now, these categories includes diuretics, sympathoplegics agents, and we also have direct vasolators and agents that block production or action of angiotensin. Next is drugs that alter sodium. Before we head onto that, we should first understand the rule of osmosis, which is where the water goes, the salt follows. Now, in understanding that statement, we will understand why it is important to understand to know the mechanism of action of diuretics and its effect to our body, and why it is connected to hypertension. So, the toxicity of diuretic is that in the treatment of hypertension, the most common adverse effect of diuretics is potassium depletion. So we will know the connection of salt, potassium, and even calcium, and why it alters our body. Now, there are actually a few, or a lot rather, selected oral hypertensive drugs, and there are a lot of drugs in general for hypertension, but now we are just gonna discuss a few, and I'm just gonna run through it and their categories as well. So we have centrally acting sympathoplegic drugs. For example, we have the methyldopa, the clonidine, we have the guanfacine and the guanabens. And for the adrenergic neuron blocking agents, we have guanidine, androserpine, and for the beta adrenergic receptor blocking agents, we have propanolol, we have labetalol, carvedilol, metoprolol, esmolol, or basically the alols. So before we proceed, I'm actually gonna teach you a few, or gonna show you an indicator, or a quick indicator on how to identify the drugs to their classification. So if it is anosine drugs, if its suffix has osin, it is for the alpha receptors, and if it has olol, or the suffix is olol, then it is for the beta receptors. If it is has ipin, it is for the CCB. If it is pril, it is for the ACE inhibitors, and for the ARBs, or for the TAN, it is for the ARBs inhibitors. So it's a few indicators, or quick indicators for the drugs. So I have previously mentioned the formula on how to get BP. So it is actually CO times PVR. Now, there is also actually a way to get CO, or the cardiac output, and that is HR times SV. So when you say HR, it's the heart rate, and HV is for the stroke volume. And in order to get stroke volume, is preload times contractility. So when you say preload, it is the venous tone, or the contractility in the veins. So yeah, I hope you learned a few things from everything that I've said. Thank you.